Working agreement is for the team. In this session, led by the Scrum Master, team members discuss on how they can be productive when they are working with each other in the day-to-day basis. What are some of the potential challenges that they have seen while working with other teams? Or what were some things that they appreciated while they were part of other teams? We will look at what are some things that can slow teams down. Miscommunication, bringing devices to the team or not paying attention in the meeting, dragging the meeting on, or going beyond the time box, or general communication challenges that every team has. Whenever I am facilitating this working agreement session, what I like to do is I ask people, what kind of working condition do you want? I might even give them some ideas. I will ask them, what are some values that you appreciate as a team? And how should we communicate as a team? Do we speak what's in our mind? Do we participate wholly? Are we honest when we're communicating? And team members will come with things like, how do we argue effectively? So when we come to a point where we don't agree on something, how do we go about resolving that argument? And team members will come with something like, whenever we come into such a situation, we'll look at our company, what's good for our company and our customers, and we will respond or solve the problem in a way that it benefits the company and the customers. The other thing I actually open up with is, what are some of our team values? And usually these principles are something like respect and courage and openness, being able to commit to a goal and being able to focus. And if this is a Scrum team, it really helps as a Scrum Master to kind of remind team members on what Scrum recommends, and if team members resonate with the Scrum values, which is respect, courage, openness, commitment, and focus. And we will talk about things like inspection and adaptation. Do we value that? Do we value experimenting? Do we value being transparent in our challenges, in our progress, in what we are thinking? We might then go and look into, what does done mean to this team? And how do we know when the work is ready to be picked by a developer? So those are things that can be discussed in the session. The other thing I facilitate as a Scrum Master is, where is the team trying to go? Is the team trying to automate all the processes? Does the team believe in having very minimum technical debt? Does the team want to make this tool that they're working on for the company a global tool that can be used by a lot bigger user base? What is it that the team is trying to accomplish in the next 6 months? The other thing that you can also look at is, how do we deal with our customers or our stakeholders? Who is the point person who deals with the customer, and how do we intake work? If a new team member joins the team, team members can come and relook at this working agreement, because this is a live document where team members can add or take out things from that working agreement if it no longer serves the team. Overall, working agreements help the team members to have a shared culture where they actually feel a shared responsibilities, and they play a multiplayer game over a single player game, where they know there are certain agreements or rules of engagement when they are playing. This is a live document. This is visible to everyone. This is put in a team room or in a SharePoint where everybody has access to this. For example, if an agreement no longer serves the purpose of the team, then team members are empowered to come together and look at that agreement and get rid of that. Similarly, when there is a new team member who joins the team, it is encouraged for the team members to come together and revisit the working agreement so that everybody is on the same page. Let's look at some other examples of working agreement that might be very unique to the team. Let's say a team member has to drop his kids off to school at 8 in the morning, and he comes to the working agreement and says, I cannot attend any meetings that are before 8:30. That can be an acceptable working agreement where team members can say, we agree to accommodate you with your schedule, and we will not schedule our daily stand-up meeting 8 o'clock in the morning. Whenever you're working with the remote teams, this working agreement could look entirely different. Let's say you're working in Hyderabad and New York. So these are two entirely different time zones. If they are a remote team, how do they work with each other? When do they do their daily stand-up? Do they come on video when they're doing a daily stand-up? Now, if they are in different location, do they have to stand? They can come to an agreement that maybe it doesn't make sense for them to stand, but they can focus on just face-to-face communication over WebEx or Zoom or whatever online tool that they're using. In the remote teams, they can look at how do they communicate. Do they use something like Slack, which is a messaging app, or do they use Skype, or do they just email, or do they just text message each other, or WhatsApp? There's a number of ways that you can communicate, but it's really helpful when team members can come to an agreement on what platform they are going to use for communication that requires instant feedback. Another example of working agreement that team members can come with is, as a team, they will go on a monthly team lunch, and it's as simple as that. Lastly, working agreements are the simple agreements that the teams comes up with. It's facilitated by a Scrum Master, and it's there so that team members can have a positive environment where they can work with each other in a very productive way.